these two 12-year-old girls assaulted a classmate, and they did it because of Slenderman. Slenderman is this fake character. It's a fictitious character that was created on a website, and it was kind of a creative thing where people would show like spooky pictures of things. So they'd edit pictures to make it look spooky, normal pictures that they'd make look spooky. And somebody did this with Slenderman, but what they did, they put this person really, really skinny, more skinny than real people can be, in a dark suit with no facial features and a hat. And then they wrote a story that went with it. And so Slenderman's scary. And it got picked up by a lot of other places, and it's traveled around the internet, and it's part of the Minecraft game. When my kids were playing Minecraft, suddenly they'd scream, "Ah, Slenderman!" and it would just suddenly pop up, and it would frighten them. So, but in fun, all good fun. Well, these 12-year-old girls apparently thought the Slenderman character was real. They were very fearful of it because it was a murderous character. And so they wanted to please Slenderman in order to protect themselves and their families. And they thought that if they killed a classmate, that would somehow please Slenderman and protect their families and them. So they lured a classmate. Now, these are 12-year-old girls. They lured another 12-year-old girl into the woods and attacked her. They stabbed her 17 times with kitchen knives. They thought she was dead. They left her for dead. Somehow the girl survived. She made her way out of the woods onto the highway, and I can't remember who it was, but she was found by someone. She was rescued. She was taken to the hospital. She's okay. I mean, she obviously traumatized, obviously physically damaged, but she's back in school now. So she survived the attack. Now, I bring this up. This happened in Wisconsin. I bring this up because this week it was announced that these two girls are going to be tried as adults. These 12-year-old girls in Wisconsin, they're going to be tried as adults, 12-year-old kids. It brings to mind, of course, the incredibly sad, tragic, ugly case in Santa Cruz recently. That darling little 18-year-old girl who was murdered by her 15-year-old neighbor. I mean, what a case. It's truly, truly ugly, undeniably ugly. He lured this little girl, he's 15. This little girl knew him. Their families knew one another. He lured her into his apartment with ice cream. And there was ice cream there. So while she's at the counter serving up the ice cream for herself, he attacks her from behind, assaults her with a blunt object. He binds her with duct tape. He tortures and rapes her, and then he murders her. He wraps her up, carries her down 3 flights of steps, and disposes of her little body in the recycling bin. And that part was caught on video. Apparently there's evidence of the assault and the murder in his apartment. All of this, of course, is alleged, but this is the story that we're getting. This is what the authorities believe happened. Sad, terrible case, absolutely terrible case. Now, the prosecutor has already said that this boy is going to be tried as an adult. But I think there's a problem in both of these cases. They're not adults. They're not adults. 5 years ago, the Supreme Court of the United States said that 18 is the defining line between childhood and adulthood. They said children should not receive the same punishment as adults. The court said in part, and I quote, "To justify life without parole on the assumption that the juvenile offender forever will be a danger to society requires the sentencer to make a judgment that the juvenile is incorrigible. The characteristics of juveniles make that judgment questionable. It is difficult even for expert psychologists to differentiate between the juvenile offender whose crime reflects unfortunate yet transient immaturity and the rare juvenile offender whose crime reflects irreparable corruption." Close quote. That was from the Supreme Court of the United States.